Welcome to the world of Warcraft.
Welcome back to part 2 of our Stratholme live run. We are running up to our group. This time, our tank marked properly, and everything was sapped as it should be. So it's really easy to take them out one at a time. You can see how fast they drop when all 3 rogues are allowed to focus on the one target, and they don't have to worry about trying to blind or CC otherwise. And even I'm getting some cheeky hits in here. I do have some good news as far as healing. Thanks to a viewer, I have not grid installed now, as well as a working version of Click. So I will not be needing to click heal quite as much moving forward on the next couple videos. You'll notice though some of the older ones that are going to be coming out still have me click healing, but moving forward we will have some more efficient healing going on, hopefully. Now this next area has a few mobs, and you're going to see a situation that could have been avoided, but at the same time the tank was trying to save the party. So if you open this door, let's pause here for just a moment, you can see this battle mage through the wall. So we have a battle mage here, and there's probably another mob with them. Additionally, I believe there are mobs in the hallway behind them. So if you open this door, you're going to aggro at least these 2. You just need to be ready for it. Thankfully, I actually have a decent amount of mana, so I'm just about as ready as I can be. So let's go ahead and see what happens next. Our tank is about to open this door. Or is it one of the rogues? Tank should... oh, I see. He doesn't have the key. So Jack's eel here is going to open it. And our tank goes right in. Gets it. It is just the one mob. Okay. I couldn't remember. That's a later part that must have the 2. So this corner here, there's a patrol. So we've aggroed the patrol. No problem. We'll take them out. Pretty standard fare. Now this next part, let's see if we get a good camera angle. Can I get it? No, I don't get it. I'm gonna pause here. You'll notice, if you look carefully, we have at least one mob here. You can see by their reaction to distract. Another mob here that's marked, a sap target. So we need to make sure we get those saps down. These next groups, if they're not taken on one at a time, can easily wipe the group. They do a lot of damage really fast. So be aware here. What's going to happen is one of our rogues, while sapping with improved sap, their 10% chance to fail is going to happen, and they're going to vanish, but in that time the tank is going to try to save the rogue. So they're going to move in while nothing is sapped, instead of waiting for the rogue to vanish and resap. So little good intentions from the warrior's part. He's trying to save the rogue's trying to do the right thing to resap properly, so that we get everything CC'd. But unfortunately, the best intentions don't always lead to a good result. So here we go. The rogues are going to go in and sap. There's the failed sap and the vanish. And the tank just went in. So let me rewind that just for a second. So you'll see both rogues go in. Notice right here, when star shows up, this is from a failed sap. So the rogue tried to sap, it failed, so they're running away and going to vanish, right? Poof. Unfortunately, clear that, and go ahead just a tiny bit here. You'll notice that then that is when the tank charges in. So as the rogue vanishes here, you notice that she just vanished. Now all of these mobs, including this one, are aggroed on the tank, and we have 0 CC going on. So we are going to be fighting a whole group at a disadvantage. And it does not go well for us. So I'll show you how that goes right here. We now have 4 mobs beating on the tank, and I have to heal before he can get threat on everything, which means I get threat. I'm trying my best to help out, but I get just exploded, right? And at the time, I didn't see what exactly happened, but after this run, the rogues explained to me what happened. And they might have in the chat here as well. But they're able to end up winning this fight, but we did lose one of the rogues and myself. The rogues did a great job blinding, trying to CC the other mobs, but yeah, you'll notice here that in chat, they're talking about how when the sap failed, just don't go in, right? That's another miscommunication thing that we should have probably... I think they mentioned it to the tank before I started recording, but just keeping that communication line open, because I'm sure if the warrior had realized what was happening and what happened when the sap failed, not to run in right away, we could have avoided that. They could have hung around the corner with me a little bit longer, and this wouldn't have been as big of an issue. But unfortunately, you know, it went down how it went down, and we're running back. And we're back. Right after running back and rezzing, I forgot to press record right away, but we are just in the next hallway now. You'll see at the end of this hallway here, do I get another view? No, I don't get a great view of it. Okay. There are these rooms to the left, which our tank is thankfully pulling out of, so we have some targets here. There's at least 2 in there, there might be a third. But clearing these rooms really saves you from accidentally walking too close and aggroing while you're in the middle of fighting the mobs at the end of this hallway. It's super handy to go ahead and clear these rooms. It does take a little extra time. It's totally worth it. Additionally, back here, I would recommend clearing this as well, especially if you have as much CC as we do this run. Yeah, just better safe than running, as I always say. Better safe than running back to your body and taking all that extra time. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and clear this room to our left, and one of the rogues should be going in here to sap. There he goes. Gets the sap down. I'm looking for the undead charging behind us. And oh, at this point is where I get stuck in combat until I think the last boss is done. You saw that patrol to our right there, but yeah, right here, these monks they hit real hard, especially when you're squishy. They will just pummel you. But one at a time, when the group can focus DPS and the tank can hold threat like he is, it's not as much of an issue. Yeah, we're looking for the skeletons. They're not there. It's just a bug in Turtle WoW that the skeletons don't come. And then the stuck in combat thing, I don't know if that happens every time. This was my first run of Stratholme on Turtle WoW, so I don't recall. Alright, right here. We have a patrol. Moon is the patrol. We have this guy. We have this, and we have this. So we have 4 mobs. We need 3 CCs. I believe we get at least 2. The other thing we have to worry about is there's a mob in this room here. It's another mini-boss. I think it's the Archivist, if memory serves. So there's the quest in there to also burn the Archive as well as kill him. And then the final boss is right over here. He's far enough back in the room, you shouldn't have to worry about it. But that's what should be happening here. So let's see what does happen. We get 1 sap, 2 sap, 3 saps. We actually get all 3 down, so doing quite well. I go ahead and pulled Moonfire because I didn't want the tank to. I didn't want him to face pull and accidentally pull extra. So my Moonfire did get resisted, but now the important part is we only got the 1 mob. So that was my goal. I try not to do that as a healer. Most tanks do not appreciate when their healer pulls. Yeah, there's the Archivist quest. And I forget to burn the archives anyways. I ask about it here in a little bit, but I just completely forget. And there's the Archivist, so he did end up aggroing, but thankfully we had all our CC down. So as much of a problem as this is, you know, if nothing was CC'd, we're going to be able to take this fight. You can see that monk is just wailing on me real hard. And thankfully they get a blind on him. But my click healing is still struggling here. We lose one of the rogues again. We get another blind on that mob. Finally finish the archivist here. And I try and keep my distance as much as I want to run towards the tank. He's able to pick it up though. What I was afraid of was the skeletons coming behind me or that monk getting free and beating on me again. The tank did prevent that though. I don't remember if I end up taking those boots or not. Anyways, if I do, they're for my tanking set. But at this point, our rogue has to run back. And I keep saying our rogue because I cannot pronounce her name. I always want to say Ashley, but I don't think it is. And the rogues don't actually need the boots. They have better boots. They have the reward from Sunken Temple. Increased stealth, agility, and stam. The Whisper Walk boots, they're great. So we're going to go ahead and wait for our rogue to come back. Let's fast forward. And something happens that I forgot about completely, so I've been rewound just a little bit here to show what happens next. So you'll notice I run down here. Our tank had run all the way back down the hallway. And he actually ended up aggroing skeletons. So the skeleton shows up out of nowhere and I'm like, what is going on here? So I go ahead and stun it and try to line of sight the caster. Thankfully, the rogues reacted quite quickly and were able to take out that caster and help me with this berserker, and then we're going to go help the tank with whatever he's found and is fighting against. So yeah, he ended up, I think, taking one out on his own. But I was able to save enough mana to get some heals going. And now we're going to pause and get our rogue back. Alright, our rogue is just about back. Unfortunately, I'm still stuck in combat. And I rebuff her. Rebuff everybody with thorns, just for that little extra damage. Now, unfortunately, we do have to wait for my mana to regen a little bit. Quite frustrating. I think he asked me to take a mana potion, but my biggest worry, if I drink too soon, if I drink the mana potion, and he goes, I will have a mana potion on cooldown the whole time. And with how awful I am at mana management, my biggest fear is running out of mana, obviously, and people dying and us wiping and having to clear back up to here, because that's a lot of time. And if waiting, you know, an extra 30 seconds could prevent that, why not just wait? As you can see, he's asking me to use a pot now, and I said, no, I'd rather wait. So we're just going to wait an extra second here. My mana is ticking up decently well. Go ahead and fast forward this about 10 seconds. And 10 more seconds. Here we go. So now we're ready to go. And our tank's ready to pull. He does a good job in this fight. I bungle the heals a bit, and unfortunately we lose him and a party member. But it's a good example of, you know, him doing a good job tanking, to be honest, and an example of how not to heal this. At one point I tried to do an AoE heal, and it keeps 3 out of 5 of us alive. It's not quite strong enough to keep the tank alive, but at the same time, I was worried about losing the whole group, and we were so close to killing the boss. So, just like in Lower Blackrock Spire, sometimes there are some tough calls you have to make. This time it didn't involve me dying, unfortunately, but it did involve the tank dying. So here we go. 3 melee DPS is a bit rough on this fight. And you can see everybody's taking damage, so I'm like trying to get more heals off on party members as well as the tank. So I try to throw rejuvenations on everyone, and this is where it gets so low that I'm just like, okay, everybody's getting heals, right? And then for some reason, I don't know what I did, and then I get put to sleep. So let's go back just a second. So I'm about to run in and try to do my AoE heal when I see everybody taking this damage. There's Tranquility. You'll notice all of our rogues have potion, which is great. Our tank is still low on health. He's still pretty low. I'm trying to do my big AoE heal. It's a fairly expensive spell. But you know, everybody's taking a little bit of damage, so I'm trying to keep everyone up. And unfortunately, either I move or he does something to me in just a second, and we'll see that. And my Tranquility spell gets canceled, and I don't react fast enough to save the tank. So I don't know how Tranquility failed there, but it did, and then I get put to sleep, and then the tank dies. We have no way to clear the sleep. I should have equipped my PvP trinket for this fight. That would have been smart. For either mind control or that. So our rogues vanish. One of them, whoever had threat, I think it was Jexil, they're able to finish off the boss, right? I had a whole, like, what, 20 seconds where I didn't do anything. I actually had mana this fight, and I got CC'd, and my Tranquility spell was interrupted at horrible times. So not only did that happen, but I didn't react fast enough to save our tank. I mean, I had Swift Mend, I had another instant heal, but I didn't get any of them off. Loot-wise, we did get lucky with the Hammer of the Grand Crusader. I really need that. And we'll get our tank and rogue up here in just a second. Thankfully, cables work, and my res is just about off cooldown. So yeah, that was just another group example in, you know, a rather unique group dynamic. Once again, you'll probably see a few more of these groups with 3 rogue damage, because that's mainly what we have in our guild right now is rogues, which is great for our sneak squads, but makes it a little difficult on some of the dungeon runs. I shouldn't say difficult, I should say unique. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this gave you an idea of how Strath Live works on Turtle WoW, and I hope you have a great day. Until next time.